I was wondering if I can ask you some questions for our vlog today.
Okay.
So what we wanted to talk about today was a lot of people are asking, when you have a startup idea, there's a lot of time that we spend thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also a moment in time where you have to act.
Mm-hmm.
So for you and for Pikurate, when do you know when the right moment to act versus think is? And do you have any advice for the people out there?
I think the right moment is totally depends on the situation. So every startup has different right moment. So I cannot say just one right moment for every startup. That's not exist. So basically, how founder can understand this is right moment or not. My advice is how much strong confidence you have. So from my end, when I think about decentralized curation, information curation platform, actually I saw many top 10 lists. So I can actually literally observe how many people want to see more summarized or more curated content. So that's very obvious. Then at the same time, I can see more people create content and more people have a hard time to find right information. So based on that kind of signal, at some point, I feel like, oh, this is right path I have to follow. And then I founded Pikurate. So my advice is persuade yourself. And then once you 100% persuaded by yourself, okay, this is it, that's the right moment. So if you like, I'm not sure, maybe that's not the right moment. The right moment is, yeah, that's it. That market is there. I can do it. If you feel that way, you are ready to go.
Great. So of course, when you are thinking about working on a startup, when to act is really about convincing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a time when you're doing your startup where you should be thinking versus acting, and there's a time when you should be acting versus thinking? Is there a clear, time for those kind of things?
I don't know. Is there any clear distinguish between act and thinking? But what I learned from Babson or any other startup things is that we have to act more than thinking. That's very clear. But personally, I cannot move if I don't know the answer. So that's the problem with myself. I feel like I spend too much time to thinking before acting. That's my personal things. So I'm really scary if I move without know the answer. So I always move if I know the answer. So pros and cons. If I know the answer, I have more confidence because I know the answer. This is the right way to go. But if you don't know the answer, maybe you can find better way. Because you don't know the answer, maybe you explore more. But my personal time is more like I spend more research, spend more time to thinking until I feel like, okay, I know the answer. Then this is time to move. Basically, but what I advise is, I understand why every entrepreneur advisor say that you should act fast before thinking too much. Because normally, when you think too much, the result is not that great. Because normally, startup has limited data, limited time, limited knowledge. Even though you spend more time, there's no guarantee to get more accurate answer. The best or better solution will be do something and fail, and then learn something, and then change your result, and then do something, and then learn something. That kind of a fast iteration is way much better to make a better conclusion than just sitting and then thinking too much. So I agree with that.
So Leo, do you have any examples of this while working on Pikurate?
Yeah, there are many examples, but right now in my mind, I can say one example related to Igor, our part-time CTO. So from entire my experience, I never have worked with part-time CTO. So it means that I don't know answer. Is it good or not? So because I don't know answer, I really hesitate to do that for a long time, more than a year. But after actually I met Igor, my part-time CTO right now, and then I learned it's really good experience. Even though part-time, he really added real value on Pikurate. So I learned something. So that's very good example. Do it. If you don't know answer, just do it and learn fast. And then if your assumption is wrong, just change it and then learn faster and then make better decision.
What were some of the questions or things you were thinking of before trying out a part-time CTO? What were you worried about?
Too much. I mean, that's a really good question. Normally, when you're thinking, your thinking is kind of spread out more deeply. So what if that's really good example, what if? So when I think about part-time, I think, what if they just spend time but actually not adding value? What if they just gone while very important project working? Or what if they have a kind of bad intent and then steal my idea? What if something like that? So once I keep asking myself, what if nothing happened, but I have to research more and more to prepare the answer of what if. So maybe if I do it, if I hire a part-time CTO, I can answer almost every questions right away. But thinking too much, maybe your thinking is keep going, and then there's no end.
I was wondering if you can share with either Pikurate or your previous startups, when was the point at which you kind of stopped thinking about the idea, stopped writing in your notebook or daydreaming, and you actually started doing it? What was that turning point for you?
So I should be very honest, and then I'm trying. So I'm gonna give you very candid answer about that. And I'm not proud of what I did, but that's me. So I would say, I always act really fast before have enough background information. For example, actually when I found Pikurate, I have nothing. I don't have money, I don't have team, I don't have any solution, I don't have any, even I don't have a visa. So actually I have nothing. So maybe if some other guys was in my situation, maybe 90% people say, oh, this is not the right timing to find content. And that's true. But when I think about my first startup, my second startup, my third startup, Pikurate, always when I make a decision, okay, this is the time to start my startup, there's no guarantee or there's no enough proof this startup will be succeed. So I can say I just started and then try to do my best. And that's me. I spent more than 15 years with that attitude, just getting started, before have enough data.
So thank you guys for listening. We wanted to try something different this time where I'm interviewing Leo and I'm behind the lens. Hopefully what we shared about, or what Leo shared about his experience in terms of thinking versus acting on something was helpful in helping you guys think about what you should do. But since we're both from Babson, we do have a little bit more push for action trumps everything, right? You can think so much, but eventually you just gotta do it and see for yourself. So if you are thinking about something, just put it out there. Try something small first, and just see how it does. You don't have to dive all the way in, but sometimes you need to drop the book and go out there and just do it. Ask people, create something small just to get started, one step at a time.
Yeah. Learning from failure. That's the best way.
Bye, Kicksters!